Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Madera City Council. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. It is now 6 p.m. The Madera City Council meetings are open to the public. This meeting will also be available for public viewing and participation through Zoom. Members of the public may also observe the live stream meeting on the city's website at www.madera.gov/live. Members of the public may comment on agenda items at the meeting or remotely through an electronic meeting via phone by dialing 669-900-6833. Enter ID 882-4310-6242 hashtag. Comments will also be accepted via email at citycouncilpubliccomment@madera.gov or by regular mail at 205 West 4th Street, Madera, California, 93637. Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Garcia?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mejia?
Here.
Councilmember Gallegos?
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Montes?
Here.
Councilmember Evans?
Here.
Councilmember Villegas?
Here. Thank you very much, Alicia. Would you all please rise for the invocation led tonight by Pastor Roger Leach, Valley West Christian Center.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, I have a guest that is going to be speaking tomorrow at the prayer breakfast. His name is Wayne Francis, and it's my pleasure to release the mic to him to open in prayer for our city today.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we are so grateful that we have the opportunity to come together like this to discuss the things that are of great value and worth to the citizens of this great city. God, I just pray that we would follow in the footsteps of the greatest servant of all, the Lord Jesus Christ, who came to seek and to save and to serve and to give. And I'm so grateful that we have leadership in this community that is willing to give of themselves to serve. I pray you would protect them, you'd watch over them, you would care for them, provide for them, supply for them, that you would be with our first responders, those who are not with us in this room tonight, but are taking care of the needs of the people around about us, and those, dear Lord, who are serving in the medical capacities and so on. And Lord, I just pray you would give us wisdom. You would give us guidance through the night with a light from above, as has been said in a hymn. So God, I just pray that you would bring a sense of peace, a sense of calm in a troubled world, that from this room would emanate the love and the mercy and the grace that all of us want to see imparted to all of our citizens. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mr. Montes tonight.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. And welcome. We will now move on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? If I do not see any, we will now have bring it back to council for a motion and approval or disapproval.
So move to approve as presented.
Second. Motion to approve the agenda by Councilwoman Gallegos, second by Councilmember Montes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We will now move on to public comment. The first 15 minutes of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the council on items which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. Speakers shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers will be asked but are not required to identify themselves and state the subject of their comments. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the mayor has the option of asking the speaker to hold the comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the council does not respond to public comment at this time. Is there any members of the public that would like to come up to the podium and speak on the public comment?
Want to do the play the video first? No.
Greeting, Mayor, members of the City Council, DJ Becker. I'm back here again to speak on the necessity to upgrade and improve our animal ordinances. I've been here at least for the last 5 or 6 years to speak on this subject. Our animal ordinances are having a very real impact on the lives of our residents. Our 3 previous animal control officers have left. We currently have only 1 new animal control officer, and he's in training. Animal control is a very difficult, dangerous, and sometimes thankless job. And Madera has an overwhelming number of surplus animals and ineffective ordinances. That's a bad combination. When you don't prioritize, support, or pay positions adequately or give them the tools they need, you have higher turnover, higher training expenses, and significant gaps in coverage. I'd like to show you a brief video. Maybe. And this, some folks may find this disturbing.
Have it on the screen.
Sorry, 1 moment. Why wouldn't it show on this one? I'm a little confused, sorry.
Imagine if that was in your front yard. That's 18 seconds of that attack. This time we have a graphic, unprovoked dog-on-dog incident caught on this video. These 2 loose, unaltered, aggressive, huge dogs could have just as easily attacked and pulled down and horribly maimed or killed a child, a senior, or another person just out walking in the area. I do not know the outcome for the badly injured smaller dog, but it was not likely a good outcome. These two 60 to 80-pound, heavily muscled, aggressive pit bulls also appear to be unaltered and a breeding pair. The female appears to have just weaned a litter of puppies and is back in puppy heat, a very dangerous hormonal situation. Imagine these two in your front yard. We've already had a man mauled to death by large dogs in the riverbed in 2016. A woman in a church parking lot on Sunset Avenue had her forearm crushed by a loose, unaltered 100-pound cane corso fighting dog. Some of you probably remember that incident. I was attacked in the front of my house about a year ago, trying to break up a multiple dog attack on a neighbor who was out walking two small dogs. Our Madera County Animal Shelter has been allowed to lock its doors and refuses most stray or unwanted animals from city residents and the public. What do you think is happening now to those homeless 5,000 or 6,000 animals that are being refused each year by the animal shelter? They're running loose in our neighborhoods, continuing to roam, starve, and reproduce. Feral and homeless cats are also being dumped everywhere. I'm asking for your attention and your action now to prioritize these subjects for the sake of our residents, our community, and our animals. It is a crisis, and it's our responsibility to fix it. If you haven't already heard about these issues from your residents, you will, as the problem grows exponentially. Let's not ignore it any longer, and let's start with a serious and effective update of our animal ordinances. And I would look forward to having an interactive presentation to answer questions and offer possible solutions on this subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any further public comment? Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none. Alicia, do we have any written or Zoom comments?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council, staff, members of the public. Buenas tardes a todos. I am going to read a letter that I sent to the City Council last Friday. And it's been hard, especially when somebody this morning asked me, why are you breaking up with Madera? Dear Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, and City Manager Rodriguez, after very serious thinking, I have decided to resign as City Attorney for the City of Madera, effective July 1, 2023. It has been an exciting time working with you and for you. Who would have known when I received Arnoldo's call regarding an interim position that I would still be your attorney 4 years later? My departure does not come easy, as I have genuinely enjoyed serving as Madera City Attorney. I hold a strong belief in the merits of good governance and how it can help the public we all serve. I admire what each of you does in support of the city. Your spirit and attitude for the betterment of Madera are remarkable. All of you and Arnoldo are true public servants. Yet the time has come for me to focus more on my wonderful family. I am blessed to have been able to have a career that I love and a loving and supporting family that I love even more. While I have been able to have both, I now want to devote more time, energy, and attention to my family, my friends, and to myself. You are currently my biggest client and the one that I am resigning from first. My plan is to also resign from my other city attorney and general counsel clients in the next year and a half. I advised Arnoldo that I will be available to work on special projects or assignments on an ad hoc basis. Such work gives me more freedom than city attorney work, which is all-encompassing. I will be providing you with a detailed exit memo with accomplishments, pending matters, the animal ordinance, and my recommendations. If you would like me to help with a transition so that your legal needs continue to function smoothly after my departure, please let me know. In closing, I cannot thank you enough for allowing me to serve as your city attorney. However, after much thought, it is time for me to move on. I wish you and the city of Madera all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilden. We will now close public comment. There are no written communications. We do have some presentations. Would CASA members please come to the podium? Good to see you. Bienvenidos. Muchas gracias. Bienvenidos. I want to put my pen to you. So this is from the City of Madera, Office of the Mayor. It's a proclamation in honor of CASA and CASA Awareness Month. Whereas May marks the beginning of National Foster Care Month, and CASA, court-appointed special advocates of Fresno and Madera counties, looks to raise awareness of its overall mission to recruit, train, and support volunteer advocates. This proclamation is in honor of you and the work that you all do. So I will read the whereas. Whereas the CASA organization thanks the volunteers who have donated over 20,000 hours of their time in the past year, while inspiring the public to join them in being the voice that matters for foster youth in Fresno and Madera counties. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Santos Garcia, Mayor of the City of Madera, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2023 as CASA Awareness Month. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mayor Santos, and certainly City Council members and the community. My name is Wilma Tom Hashimoto, and I have the pride and joy of serving as the Executive Director for CASA. And I always put Madera first, Madera counties. Small font, Fresno as well. With me tonight, I'm proud to say that I have Carmina Ramos, who is our Senior Advocate Supervisor, who's been with us for 4 years plus. And then also to my right is Raquel Garcia, who is our Ages and Stages Questionnaire Assessment Specialist. Why it's so important, where I have to first thank you for the hard work and the hard decisions that you have to make on a daily basis. We just heard about animal control. You're concerned about the entire city. And I watch how you vote and how you listen. And every time there's a decision to be made, you always put and how does it impact our city and our family and our children? And so for that, I thank you. For the past 28 years, I've been in education, and then I stepped off. Who does that, by the way? Leaves education at 28 years. And I joined CASA. I served on the board for 8 years, and now as their ED for 5 years. And I often said it's the hardest thing I've done, but the most blessed I've ever lived. And I would agree that my staff would feel the same way. I come here to thank you because in the past 5 years, I remember the first time I came up here and it was like, okay, we're going to grow. We're going to grow Madera. And as a result, we have. And we could not have done that without the support of elected officials in our community. We have a brick and mortar building at First 5. We went from one office with a part-time person to now 4 people. And we'll be moving to a larger office because it's a little crowded to have that many people. We have doubled just about, we have 38 advocates serving 49 children. But on top of that, the partnerships that we created with DSS, Raquel behind me, she assesses all the children ages 0 to 5 in the foster care system to make sure there's early intervention. If we don't do that, what happens statewide is that there's only a 30% high school graduation rate. If we don't come in with CASA, those that are homeless right now, if you survey them, half of them has spent time in the foster care system. And 86% to 93%, depending on the study, those who have been human trafficked, either sexually or labor-wise, 86 to 93% has spent time in the foster care system. So this is where CASA comes in, and we're coming in and we're advocating for the children, the courts, the education system. And then during COVID, we stepped in and filled in the gaps for mental health. So coming up in this year, we plan to add another supervisor to serve more children. We also will have in terms of advertising, we're going to have our first mural ever. And we're looking at C Street and 4th on Romeo Furniture Store on the side. And we hope that that's where the food alley, I believe, is being proposed. And the hope is people will go there and it's like, yeah, okay, when you walk down that street, make a right for the food alley, you're going to see a Casa mural. And the thought is, Casa, let's sign up to be a community advocate for our own children here in Madera. So thank you for this time. I'll see you back again next year with more updates.
So I'd like to become a recognizing organizations for their good work is always a fun thing. We now have some introductions. Arnoldo, you have someone making introductions?
Thank you very much, Mayor, members of the council, Arnoldo Rodriguez. It is with great pleasure that I introduce a couple of new staff members to both the council and the community this evening. As council is aware, since I've started back in December of 2018, almost the entire time we've had vacancies at the department head level for one reason or another. And that's put a lot of pressure on a lot of our staff, a lot of those departments. And a lot of other department heads who have really stepped in to carry the weight and to try to make sure that the organization has moved forward. So it's with absolutely tremendous pleasure that I introduce a couple of individuals here this evening. We have Michael Lima, our new finance director. Michael has approximately, I'm going to say around 28 years in city finance. So a lot of years, so over 3 decades in the finance world. Prior to joining Madera, he was the City of Fresno finance director for a long time. He was at the city for 20 years, so we're extremely ecstatic and that he joined us. And it really came at an opportune time because we're preparing a budget. So not only does he get to know everyone's name, now we're expecting him to have a budget in about a month, which I'm pretty sure is impossible to happen, but we have high expectations of Michael. Next, we have Ishmael Hernandez. So Ishmael Hernandez has been in public government at the city of Dinuba for roughly 20 years. Last handful of years, about 5 or 6 years as their public works director. So we're very fortunate that Ishmael has decided to join the city of Madera. He's being a public works director. He understands the role. Their system in Dinuba was very, very similar to our city in terms of water distribution, water wells, wastewater treatment, ponding basins. A lot of the same issues or challenges that we have are the same challenges that he's used to. So we're ecstatic about that. We also have Daniel Holguian, who's our new interim information services manager. He actually started Friday. So the other 2 gentlemen started last Monday. So they're veterans now of about 7 or 8 days. And now we have Dan, who's been here since Friday. Dan was he was a police officer in New Mexico for about 9 years. Decided that he wanted to get into computers, went back to school, obtained his degree in computer science, if I recall, in Denver. And now he's been in IT for about 22 years, if memory serves me. And we are extremely excited to have these 3 gentlemen. We also have a brand new police officer. We have Officer Arnold, who's sitting over here. So Officer Arnold joined us a couple of months ago. And prior to this, he was an officer with the city of Fresno for about 3 or so years, if memory serves me. And so again, so we're very excited. And so if anyone in the community has any questions, if you want to welcome them, I'm sure they would appreciate it. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. We will now move on to item A. There are no workshops. We will now move on to item B, consent calendar. Matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If this discussion is desired, a member of the public or a member of the council may request an item be removed from the consent calendar and it will be considered separately. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak under consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council. Step up, por favor. Pásale, pásale.
Happy to see you all again. Good afternoon, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council member. My name is Saray Martinez. Again, I'm the Executive Director of Centro Binacional para el Desarrollo Indígena Oaxaqueño. And I'm going to ask los miembros de la comunidad si se pueden parar, los que vinieron para apoyar la resolución en la carta. I know we don't all want to speak because we want to respect your time, but just wanted to say thank you for listening to the testimonies that you heard last meeting and appreciate again your support. And want to say that if you decide to pass this, which I know we hope you do, that you will be the second city in the state to do this. The first city was San Francisco, and they did it I think last month, but you'll be the second city that is supporting the community. So we just want to say thank you, and we hope to count with your support. Again, the community members are here. We're not going to speak on the item, but we definitely appreciate the support for your city and your residents here in Madera. So thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. And just for the record, you're speaking on item B6, correct?
I can confirm that.
Yes, 227.
227.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Lisa, do we have any written or Zoom comment?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I will close public comment, bring it back to council. Any quick corrections or additions to the consent calendar?
But with that, I would move to approve consent as presented.
I'll second
it.
Is that Councilwoman Evans?
Yes.
Motion to approve the consent calendar by Councilmember Montes, second by Councilwoman Evans. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. You will move on. The Centro Binacional might want to check in with our Senator Caballero. Apparently 227, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was put on suspension. Did you read that? Yeah, you might want to check on that because we need to visit that, but we will be sending the letter. Okay. Item C, public hearings. Item C1 is rezone REZ 2023-01, property located at 308 North C Street. Mr. Tackett, do you have this item?
Good evening, Chair Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem Mejia, and council members. I believe this is our first meeting with the City Council. I'd like to introduce Adelini Rueda, planner with our Planning and Development Department. She'll be presenting this item for you this evening.
Hello, let me go ahead and share my screen. Are we okay right there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, Mayor Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem Mejia, and council members. My name is Adelini Rueda, and I'm an assistant planner over in the planning department. This evening, I will be presenting the entitlement for rezone 2023-03. I'm sorry, 2023-01. Applicant is requesting to rezone 308 North C Street from light commercial over to R1, which is 1 unit for each 6,000 square feet. Location is again as stated 308 North C Street, located along the interior side of the west side of, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember my streets here. The project is about 0.17 acres, approximately 7,500 square feet. Currently, it has the general land use designation of low density. Therefore, it needs to be rezoned over to R1 to be consistent with the general plan. Here is an aerial view of the project site. As you can see, it is still currently vacant. Our proposal is basically to take it from C1, as noted here, over on the existing zone and have it rezoned over to R1. Again, 1 unit per 6,000 square feet. The project was determined to be exempt under the California Environmental Quality Act, also known as CEQA Guidelines Section 15061, under the common sense. Project was recommended by the Planning Commission to recommend approval to the council members to approve rezone 2023-01 back at the April 11, 2023 commission hearing. Our recommendation is to 1, waive full reading and introduce in an ordinance adopting a finding of exemption pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15061 B3 common sense exception and rezoning the site from C1 light commercial over to R1, 1 unit per 6,000 square feet. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak under item C1? Lisa, do we have any written or Zoom comments?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you. I will close public comment under this item, bring it back to council for questions, motion.
Motion to approve C1.
Second.
Senate.
Motion to approve item C1 by Councilwoman Evans, second by Councilmember Villegas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
Alicia, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gallegos,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez, Councilmember Mejia. I'm
I
sorry,
abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Mejia,
I abstain.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Montes.
Yes.
Councilmember Villegas,
Yes.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
That's 6 yes votes and one vote abstained by Councilmember Mejia.
Thank you. The motion passes. We will now move on to item D, petitions, bids, resolutions, ordinances, and agreements. Item D1 is agreement with Eagle Shield Pest Control for pest control services. Ismael? There you go.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The purpose of this item is to formalize an agreement with Eagle Shield Pest Control for pest control services. The current agreement with our current pest control company was issued in 2020. It expires May 20th of this year. In preparation, the city issued a request for proposals to solicit bids for pest control services. In an effort to reach local vendors, staff also notified 14 vendors that are in the city business license list. 5 bids were received. 1 was found to be non-responsive. and an evaluation was conducted by a review committee of the remaining responsive and responsible bidders. As I mentioned, an evaluation was conducted by a review committee of the 4 remaining responsive and responsible bids. After careful evaluation, the review committee recommends the selection of Eagle Shield Pest Control. Eagle Shield Pest Control was the second lowest bidder, but when evaluating other criteria of the review process, such as qualifications and experience, work plan and references, Eagle Shield Pest Control was selected as the best choice for the city. The term of the agreement is 2 years with an option to extend the agreement for 3 additional years. The list of locations and monthly cost per location are shown in the agreement. All prices are to remain firm for a minimum of 2 years. The city again has the option of additional non-routine services for an added fee. The financial impact is outlined in the agreement. It's for a fixed dollar amount for each item furnished to the city with no built-in increases over the agreement 2-year term. The annual base cost of the agreement is $12,373. And again, we may ask the vendor to perform additional work, but the vendor must first provide a written quote for proposed work and must receive written authorization from the city. It's the recommendation of staff that council adopt a resolution approving an agreement with Eagle Shield Pest Control to provide pest control services to the city for a base cost of $12,373 per year for 2 years with an option to extend the agreement for 3 additional years. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Ismael. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment under item D1? Alicia, do we have any comments in written form or on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I'll close public comment under this item. I'll bring it back to council for questions and or issues. Councilwoman Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a comment. Thank you for allowing 14 of our city pest control companies the opportunity. It's just disheartening that we are not able to award that to someone here in the city of Madera. It sounds like Eagle Shield's in Clovis. So I'm hoping to put on record that in 2 years, we do have a company that is local and will be able to complete the bid and get that service here in the city of Madera. So thank you for that. That's all, Mayor.
Seeing no public more further comment, bring it back to council for a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
D1.
Motion to approve item D1 by Councilmember Rodriguez and by Councilmember Villegas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. D1 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item D2, agreement between the city and Superior International Industries. Mr. Hebert.
It's it on Zoom.
That's it. You got it.
Thing is not working. There you go. I'm going to share the screen. So you can still share. Stand on. Yeah. Oh, that's the.
Eureka.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Yes, Joe Hebert for Parks Department. Presenting item D1, which is an agreement between the city and Superior International Industries. If this seems like deja vu all over again, it is. We presented this item last 2 weeks ago. Let's see if we can get it. There was a community summary. There's a community block grant fiscal year 2023 allocation of $609,000 and $609,307 for the rehabilitation of McNally Park. The planned improvements include the replacement of all park amenities, playground equipment, benches, trash receptacles, drinking fountains, barbecues, as well as the reconstruction of basketball court area. In the April 19th, 2023, Council approved Resolution 23-46, approving the purchase agreement with Superior Internationals for $213,123.18. The original quote that they submitted did not include the demolition and reconstruction of the playground safety perimeter fence. The vendor provided an updated quote for which would raise the amount to $244,508,042. That includes the fencing that was missing. This is the fence that we will be replacing as we redo. As you can see, it's in disrepair. It needs a lot of TLC. Still pending is the procurement of services for reconstruction of the basketball, the restroom rehabilitation, the picnic shelter area, and other recreational features. As you can see, this is the structure that we're looking to redo. You can also see some of the basketball court that's also this park needs a lot. And I know Councilwoman Evans talks to me quite a bit about this park along with the other community members. So we're anxious to get this done. The financial impact of this, the purchase will be under the cooperative purchase agreement will be made from Parks Community Services Department, our facilities and improvement fund budget. We have more than enough funding available in our budget. And our recommendation is that we adopt a resolution approving a cooperative purchase agreement with Superior International Industries for McNally Park in the amount of $244,508.42. And we rescind the resolution that was approved on April 19th, 2023. And I'm here for any questions if anybody has them.
Thank you very much. Do we have any members of the public wishing to comment on item D2, the park at McNally? Do we have any written or Zoom comments?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I'll close public comment under this item, bring it back to council for approval or questions regarding item D2.
So move to approve D2 as presented.
Second.
Motion to approve item D2 by Councilwoman Gallegos, second by Councilmember Villegas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passes. It's been a long time coming for that part, by the way. That's good. That's good. It needs all of our parts need tender loving care, by the way. Thank you very much. We do not have any items under item E, administrative reports. We will move on to item F, council member reports, announcements, and future agenda items. This portion of the meeting is reserved for the mayor and council members to make brief reports on boards, committees, and other public agencies and at public events, to request updates, to initiate future agenda items, and to take action on matters initiated under this section of the agenda. Under this section, the council may take action only on items specifically agendized and which meet other requirements for action. Councilwoman Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I'd like to welcome the three gentlemen to the city. You have a total of 85 years of experience. So that's a lot of years to bring to the city of Madera. So thank you for that. Also like to welcome our new PD staff and the promotions and those that were sworn in by our city clerk, Alicia. Thank you for being there. And our MC, Chief Lawson, for doing a great job in that event. We also, I'd also like to thank Councilman Montez, who will be taking my place on Saturday, Relay for Life. So hopefully everybody can make it out there to Town and Country Park. It'll be all night. You can come out and walk, and they'll be there the following morning to have a pancake breakfast provided at 9 o'clock by my Madera Evening Lions. So come on out to have some pancakes if you don't make it out on Saturday. And with that, I think that's all I have. Oh, one more thing, Mayor. I'd like to thank the park staff for being out there last Saturday for planting trees on Earth Day. That was exciting. Got a lot of trees donated and planted, and to increase our shadeability in our parks. Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Garcia. First of all, I just wanted to give my deepest condolences to Councilmember Gallegos and her family. I know she's lost her close one in her family, and just want to make sure that you know that we really sympathize that and we're with you. Second, I wanted to thank our city manager for bringing on the trifecta team, Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Lima, and Mr. Olguin. Much needed. I think this was a void that we've had here at the city for some time. And now with the trifecta team, I think we're going to be whole. So thank you again for bringing it on board, and congratulations. I also wanted to just recognize that we'll be having a Cinco de Mayo this Friday. So Cinco de Mayo, a lot of people confuse that with the Independence Day, but that's actually a battle that took place in Puebla to beat the Second French Empire. That being said, just food for thought, that on this date, since 1863, Californians have been celebrating and commemorating this day, again, mainly for Mexican-American culture. One thing that you'll find very interesting is the food. So I'm hoping that you all have a great Cinco de Mayo this upcoming Friday. Enjoy the great food that's always out there. And more importantly, have fun and be safe. Last, I just wanted to recognize our city attorney, Hilda. I know that early on when she came on board and she stated that she was here as an interim position, she did state and made some comments that she was thinking of maybe retiring in the future. We just didn't think it would come in the form of 4 years later. We're really going to miss you and really want to thank you for everything that you've done for the city. You certainly put us in a place where we have really overcame a lot of hurdles thanks to you and your team. So I want to thank you and recognize you for that. Last but not least, I do want to recognize the Madera High School golf team. My son is in that team, and yesterday they were shy 6 strokes of making it to the qualifier, but he made his individual qualifier, so he'll be competing next week on Monday. So good for him. And again, hoping that all of you guys have a great Cinco de Mayo. And with that, Mr. Mayor, those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilmember Montes.
Yeah, I also want to express my condolences to the Gallegos family. Councilmember Gallegos knows we all love her, we all care for her, we're all here for her. But continue to pray for the family. They're still going through a lot. And then welcome to new employees. Dan, it was your time to shine right there when we're having some issues with it. I saw you eyeballing, you're gonna get up, but
Hey, but Arnoldo
elbow. He's looking in that position, I guess. I don't know. But thank you. We appreciate it. And like Ronaldo said, over the course of his tenure here, we've had some, vacancies, and we're really looking forward to having those vacancies filled permanently all the time, and just making sure we're continuing to do the city's business. Thank you to all of our police officers. We had the promotion ceremony, and to all their families that are lending them to us. They're putting their lives on the line at times. And I know everybody was really proud, but wanted to say thank you, especially to the families, because you never know what's going to happen out there. And there were a lot of families there. They're really proud of their loved ones. And again, just thank you for everybody who's protecting us and all those families. Also like to thank the Parks Department. Joe, it was really fun planting. I think I got 5 trees. I'm not sure. I don't know if we were keeping track, but it was really fun day. Got to take the family out there and taking care of our park as well. And then Hilda, thank you. You're breaking up with us. But we really appreciate everything that you've done. We're here. I'm going to miss looking over and trying to get the reaction from some of the things that I'm saying or everybody else is saying. So we really appreciate you though. And those are my comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Evans.
Yes. This is hard. I do want to offer my deepest condolences to the Gallegos family, to Councilwoman Gallegos, excuse me. I've sat there before, so I do understand, May the 14th is Mother's Day. And each and every one of us in here has a mother. And we need to recognize the person that took the 9 months to carry us, whether she raised you, she gave you up for adoption, whatever the case may be. Hug your mother, because when they're gone, they don't return. they don't return. Hilda, I have a clear eye to you. I look at you for advice, and I thank you for everything that you've done and for the advice that you've given to me. I truly appreciate you. To the new gentleman, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so very much. Arnoldo has carried a lot of weight on his shoulders, so you guys are here now to lift the weight, and much appreciation to each and every one of you. To the young man that sits behind you, have a powerful seat right there, because I kicked the officers back. Careful, I'm coming for you. Mr. Hebert, thank you. No more slave water faucets. No more. I thank you. I thank you for all that you do and for the things that you've done, and continue the work that you're doing. To my council members, I love you guys. I love this city. And I just want each and every one of you to know that on this day right here, I salute you. This city is so precious to me. I went last Monday, to James Monroe. They had a do the CASA test, and their motto was, do your best and take the test. You don't have to have an A, but if you put your best foot forward and you do your best, that's all anybody can ask. And each and every one of us that sit here, we may not always agree, but we do our best for who we serve, and we serve this city. So for the love of this city, I commend you. I think that's about it for me. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to the mothers and to the fathers. I thank you too, because without you, there wouldn't be any mothers. So salute. I passed the baton.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start off saying thank you, Hilda, for just being there as a new council member. You were so supportive to me and helping me understand, and for your service with our city. And welcome to the gentleman. Thank you for being here. I attended a Salt of the Earth conference on Earth Day. We had a great turnout at the Madera Community College. It was 3 days. We had people from all over the world here in Madera, staying in our hotels, consuming in our businesses. We had people from Guatemala, from El Salvador, and they got to experience the Central Valley. They had a tour of our everything that we do, our crops, and they got to meet people in Madera and hear about our stories. So that was wonderful to be a part of. Council member Montes was there, and I think he had a good experience as well. There is still a way to support the Popular Education Center for Immigrants and Refugees. That was the purpose of that conference. So I will be sharing on social media the ways that you can still show your support. And then this week, we also had another conference, Welcoming America, where we had a delegation from Australia. And thank you to CAPMC for hosting them there. We were able to hear about the ways that we are able to help migrant communities, and we shared with each other. So that was also great to be a part of. Our Madtown robotics team put Madera on the map yet again. Congratulations. Thank you for making Madera proud. Hopefully our city can do something to celebrate them, whether it be having them here, or I know that community members are talking about wanting a parade to celebrate our young people in robotics. So just, we really want to show our support. And lastly, almost last. I know that everybody that was here today is very proud of our council of being the second city in the state to support SB 227. So I think that that's something that we can all really be proud of. And just the last thing, I think that it would be a good idea for us to have a timer like separate or on the screen. I know that public comment, it is 3 minutes, but I think that it would be fair to everybody, whether we agree with what they're saying or not, but just be fair and have a timer that displays how long each gets to speak. The person that was speaking today had a full 6 minutes. And I know in the last meeting, we were trying to limit the comments. So I think that listening to everybody in our community, whether we support or are in agreement or not with their opinions, just showing our respect for them, that would be good. So that's something, just an idea. I don't know if I can get support for that or.
I would support that.
Timer.
And with that, those are all my comments. Thank you.
Yeah. Councilmember Villegas.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. I'm going to start with Hilda. Hilda, thank you for your help in the city of Madera. Thank you for guiding the city council and everything. So, and now I'm going to congratulate Michael Lima as the Director of Financial Service and Ismael Hernandez, Public Works Operations Director, and Daniel Holguin, Interim Information Service Manager. Thank you and welcome to the city of Madera. And I heard that you guys have a lot of experience, so that's very good. That's going to help us to can be better, I guess. So thank you very much and welcome. And that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. As everyone in front of you has said, welcome aboard. It's a welcome addition. We've needed it for a long time. I want to thank you for coming to Madera. We can certainly use the help here. I also want to congratulate the Madera High School robotics team, #1 in the world. It's a significant event for our community. We're very proud of the work that they do. And of course, the coaches and the community members who support them along the way as they continue to shine for our communities. It's not insignificant to be #1 in the world. And so I congratulate them. I'd like for us to look at the possibilities of a future agenda item to update our animal control ordinances. I think it's long overdue. We have a serious issue. And so at the very least, if we can begin by updating and looking at the codes that we have for code enforcement at this time, I think it would be a positive step in the right direction to put it on the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, just to be clear, you want to update or for discussion so that we can get up some up?
Yeah, we can start with a discussion, but we need to put it on the agenda so we can have that discussion.
I will agree to that.
All right. Thank you very much. And with that, we conclude our meeting. Hilda, would you please bring us into closed session?
Thank you, everyone, for your kind comments. I will miss you, and we'll talk more. As far as the closed session for this evening, it's conference with legal counsel, existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9D1. The name of the case is Finos of Madera, Inc., doing business as Finos of Madera, and it's a cannabis appeal before a hearing officer.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us and have a good evening. Hilda, will you bring us back from closed session, please?
Thank you. The city council met in closed session. All council members were present. There is no reportable action.
Thank you very much. I now call for adjournment of this meeting. It is now 7:30. Our next meeting dates are Wednesday, May 17th, 2003, and Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. Thank you very much and have a good night.